Hey, I'm excited to be able to talk to you guys about this today. I'm going to wait just a few minutes for some people to get on and make sure that the video looks right. Hopefully you're seeing it the way that it's supposed to. It looks right to me. Okay. Okay, so while people are getting on, I just want to say real quick that one of the things that's most important, obviously, in building this business is that you're hitting your ranks and that you're making sure that you have those goals that you're trying to achieve. And most people come into the business and they look at the income level of the rank and they say, oh, that's the rank I want to be, so that's the one I'm shooting for. And they miss some basic foundational aspects of that. So I want to just make sure that before we overwhelm ourselves, I know there are some people who will set that kind of nebulous goal out there, and then when they don't achieve it, they get really frustrated because they still haven't achieved their goal. And so I want to set up some realistic goals and expectations so that you can feel like you're having those successes along the way. So for those of you who are watching, let me just ask you real quick, can you read, is this reading correctly to you, milestones? If it is, can you give it an icon, a thumbs up, a heart, something? Okay, Linda's giving me a thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, Heather's giving me a thumbs up. I'm actually going to take off my jacket here. It is warm in my office today. Okay. So let me just say, when people usually get into this business, like I said, they want to go for a dollar figure, or they want to go for a rank, or the rank that gives them the dollar figure. So one thing so my husband and I, we come from a web development business, prior to doTERRA, that's our background. And in that business, we always know what the end goal is going to be, right? We always have our sights set on the completion of the project. And that's the same thing that you want to do in this one. You want to set your goal for what it is, but then you want to realize that you have some milestones that you need to achieve along the way. So for example, if you want to be a premier, for example, if you want to be able to be premier and get your premier bonus, and start out your structure, you have your 2 legs going on, you're starting to be a leader, those types of things. First, you need to figure out how to be an executive. If you don't know how to become an executive yourself, how can you teach other people how to be an executive? So this is really important that you're setting yourself up for these milestones. But in between here, even before executive, you have manager and consultant and director that are all before you even hit the executive rank. So basing your goals off of hitting those, so basing them off of the next rank, the next rank, the next rank, instead of, oh, I want to be a diamond, and now I'm really sad that I didn't hit diamond this month. Let's set up some realistic milestones. Also, other things that you can do aside from setting it up just for rank, you could also set it up for your power of 3 as a milestone. You can set it up for new builders as a milestone. And all of these ranks in the beginning up through elite are all OV based. So you don't need a structure necessarily to reach any of these ranks. It's all just about volume. So your goal could just be strictly volume. The thing about all of this is that it all takes action in order to achieve any of these things, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But next, I want to move on to one thing that we learned in our business when we were getting ready when we were doing web development and stuff, and it was basically a triangle. You can have 2 things on your triangle, but you can't have all 3. And this is really important for you to understand, because in the web development world, you can have quality, you can have time, the time frame you want, the quality you want, or you can have it in the financial aspect. You can have it in the budget that you want, basically. So you can choose 2 of them, but you can't choose to have all 3 of them. Rarely are you going to be able to be, somebody's going to be able to deliver on all of that. So if you were to outsource, say, part of your website, you can say, okay, I'm willing to pay this much, and I want it to be this quality, then generally the person has to come back and say, okay, then I'm dictating the amount of time that I'm willing to do this in with the quality that you want and the time frame that you want it in, or the financial budget that we have. So the same thing applies in our business. So what I want you to understand in setting your rank up and your rank goals is that there is rank on one of your sides, your hours per week, and your time frame in which you want to reach time. What did I just say? Frame. Your time frame. Okay. It's really difficult unless you like have the stars perfectly aligned for you to be able to achieve all of that together. So here's the deal. A lot of times people will say, I want to be a diamond and I have 5 hours a week and I want it in 1 year. It isn't realistic. There's just no way, unless you just stumbled upon all of these like rock star builders and it all just perfectly lined out for you. I've never seen that happen though. It takes you really planning this out to make sure that this is going to work, right? So what you want to do to plan out your rank accordingly is you can start with, I want my rank. I want my rank to be diamond and I have 5 hours a week. You can't dictate the year because it's going to take you longer than that probably to get in the number of enrollments, hold the number of events and classes in order for you to hit diamond in a year. So for example, we hit diamond in a year, in just over a year. I think it was 13 or 14 months that we had gone from basically our starting point to hitting diamond. And in that year, we had enrolled over 100 people ourselves and had all of our builders in place within the first 4 months. So, and I was working between 40 and 60 hours a week back then to make sure that I hit that rank because that was my goal. I wanted diamond and I wanted it in a year. So I didn't get to really choose the time. I was going to do whatever it took to get to that goal in that amount of time. So if you work a full-time job, say, or if you have other time constraints and you only have 5 hours a week, what you need to do is start with your goal and work your way backwards from that. So, for example, if you have, let's make it really easy, and we're going to go with elite. So elite volume is 3,000 OB. You need 3,000 OB in order to hit elite. So if you have 5 hours a week, 5 hours a week is plenty of time for you to be actually be able to hold one class a week. That's enough time for you to give out samples if you want, invite people to the class, to teach the class, do all the follow-ups, all the enrolling in 5 hours a week. So you can technically hold one class a week off of 5 hours. And that is true for one-to-ones, however you want to do your business. It's about that action again. It's about making sure that you're going back and you're doing the things that actually build your business, which is getting enrollments. You get enrollments through teaching people. Teaching people comes through one-to-ones, webinars, Facebook Lives, classes, whatever that looks like for you. I don't care. Just do your thing. Just make sure that the action is being included when you're making this plan. So if you have 5 hours a week and you want to be able to hit elite, then you could easily say, okay, I have 5 hours a week. A minimum class turnout is generally around 500 OB. That's around 2 Home Essentials kits with maybe a little bit of retail orders or maybe 2 Home Essentials kit and a Family Essentials kit. But basically, an average class is around 500 OB, give or take, depending on if you're doing the one-to-one or whatever. So if you're doing that, you need to have 6 classes in order to hit your 3,000 OB. So 6 classes, 5 hours a week, then you can make the choice. Can I realistically hold 6 classes in 1 month and hit elite that month? Or can I only do 1 class a week? Is that the only realistic thing for me? So if it's realistic for you to only be doing 1 class a week, then you can plan on hitting executive in that 1 month time frame, because that will give you the 2,000 OV necessary in order to hit that executive level. So that is something that you want, and then from there you need to take into account that all those people that signed up, so the 8 people that signed up ish to get you to that place, the next month they need to be on LRP if that's going to continue to work towards you hitting elite. So you need to make sure you're doing those wellness consults, or the new membership overviews, however you're calling them, whatever system you're using. You need to make sure that you're converting them into that, and that will give you 800 OV. So now you're back down to needing only 2,200. If you taught your 4 classes again that month, you could technically hit executive or hit elite that month. So this is the thing that I want you guys to understand, though, is that it takes consistent classes, consistent enrollments, one-to-ones, whatever that is. Like I said, however you're teaching people, it takes the enrollments to build your business. And when you are in motion, your team will be in motion. And when you start finding those people that are going to create your structure, when you are teaching classes, they will teach classes. When you stop teaching, they will stop teaching. It's almost scientifically proven. I heard a saying yesterday, the pace of the leader is the pace of the pack. Basically, whatever pace you're running at is the pace your pack is going to run at. And so if you want to set an example of a class a week, you need to be teaching a class a week in order to make that happen. So Anne just had some comments. Okay, so for some people, like Anne was just saying, she has an hour drive both ways, so that's going to take a little bit of extra time in order to make that happen. So again, just gauge your time. You need to figure out how much time you realistically have in a week. And a lot of people will say, I'm just so busy, I don't have any time for anything. Well, you're in the wrong business if you have no time to grow your business. And I don't want to say that, I don't want to come off like cynical or harsh, but that is the reality of this business. If you don't have any time to put into it, it won't grow, because you need to be getting enrollments, and enrollments take time. So making sure that you are doing the things that you need to do is really super important. So the other thing that I want to just cover really quick is the income producing, and I'm going to actually erase this one and talk a little bit about this action step. So we talk a lot about leadership and about personal development and all of the things that are kind of like the floofy things out in the sky. But what I want you to really understand is that in order to grow your business, you have to be doing income producing activities. So IPAs, income producing activities. So let me just ask, for those of you who are on, type in the comments really quick. What are some income producing activities? What creates an income in this business? I'm just going to wait for a second and get some comments put in. I have, I think, 9. We'll see if I can remember all of them as I'm writing them out on the board. But I would love to see what you guys think are income producing activities. Enrollments, sampling, yes. What else? So we're going to put enrollments down here because that's where it goes in kind of the chain. Sampling is up here. Now there are 2 methods. Some people say to sample, some people say don't sample. I've had success both ways. I don't think that it's ever that easy to just put it in a box. LRP, absolutely. And inviting. So inviting is going to go here. Whoops. And then LRP is going to go down here. Follow up. Heather, I love that one. And here's the thing. Follow up comes not just once. Follow up is in a couple of places. So you're going to sample and you're going to follow up. And you're going to invite FO up. We don't want to F you. Okay, follow up there. You're going to, let's see if somebody else did the other one. Classes. Heather said classes. That's right. So you need the education step. If they don't enroll from your class, then you need to follow up. If they enroll, then you follow up to schedule your, let's see if anybody else, wellness consultation. That's right. Your wellness consultation or your member overview. After that, are we done? No way, okay? From here, we need to get them on the LRP. This is super important. This is what builds your business. This is what creates, sorry, I'll go on this side. Your LRPs, your people getting on LRP is what creates your retention rate, and it is also what creates your unilevels. And in the end, your unilevels are going to be what makes your paycheck. So we see these people that are diamond and blue diamond and presidential diamond, and we look at the average incomes, right, of all of these high ranks. And most people think, oh, it's because of the diamond bonus that they get. But I will tell you something. Last month, my blue diamond bonus was nothing in comparison to my unilevels. This is where it's at. You have to be doing this one, LRPs. You need to help people, even if they're placing a 50 PV order. I don't care what the LRPs look like. A full 100 is awesome because it helps with your Power 3 structure, all of those things. But then being on the LRP, contributing any amount to your unilevels is so, so important. So make sure that you are not skipping this or missing this step. It's so important. Okay, so after that, then you're gonna follow up again and ask them about, Heather Huerta said, a business consult. This is where you find people to do this with you. This is where you find these people, is from asking them, do you want to do a business consult? That is one of the things that I think a lot of people miss out on, is that they get to the enrollment and then they like, stop. That didn't work. Then they stop there. And it's just like, okay, I got my enrollment, check. But the money maker, the real influence that you have in your business comes from making these people feel like they're part of a community, that you care about their health, you want them to get the most out of their membership, that you teach them how they can take the money they're already spending on shampoo and on dish soap and hand soap and cleaning supplies and all those things, and how they can transfer that spending into doTERRA, and that they can get the non-toxic benefits of doTERRA's products, but also that they get the points back on their LRP, and if they're high enough, that they can get a free product that month through the Product of the Month Club. So making sure that you are keeping this section, this is a vital section. So if you have only 5 hours a week, don't neglect this section. This is as important as getting those enrollments. This is vitally important to the growth and long-term longevity of your business. Okay, so business consults. One thing that I just want to say about that really quick is, with business consults, I think that it's important for you to invite everybody to hear about the business opportunity. That's what I did when I was very first got started. I always talked about the business. I loved the business as much as I love the products, hands down. I came from the business world. That's what my educational background is in business management, entrepreneurship. We've owned lots of businesses. And when I got into doTERRA and I could see the difference between traditional businesses and what doTERRA had in the compensation plan, and I didn't have to be product support. I didn't have to be the fulfilling warehouse. I just got to go and educate people and point them in a direction, and doTERRA took care of everything else. It's a no-brainer. This business is absolutely incredible, and I wanted everybody to know about it. So I invited everybody to learn about it. And for some people, they're going to start out as sharers, casual sharers, or maybe a little bit more focused sharers, but still they're not into building a business, and that's okay too. Many hands make for light work. So if you have a ton of sharers on your team, that's brilliant, because they are helping also to contribute to your volume, to your structure. And a lot of times those sharers, those casual sharers, will turn into builders, because they start getting those paychecks in and they're like, what is this? This is awesome. I want some more of this. And they see that it's working. So make sure that you are inviting people to learn more about the business opportunity, and that you're doing it with courage and with a sense of passion, that you're not afraid of this business opportunity, and that you really do believe that it is of benefit to other people. That's how they're going to believe that it's of benefit to them. So that is just kind of a wrap up of what I wanted to share with you guys today, to be able to make sure that you're setting yourselves up for rank in a good way. I see so many people get discouraged month after month after month because they didn't hit the rank that they were shooting for. Yet the rank that they were shooting for is like 2 or 3 ranks beyond the rank that they're currently at. And it just isn't realistic. I remember even, I was a gold, and I remember talking to Chelsea Stevens, who at that time was my blue diamond upline. And I remember telling her, I'm totally going diamond this month. And I had no plan. I had no idea how I was even going to get there. And I didn't, obviously. I didn't have a roadmap. I didn't have a plan. It was just my nebulous goal that I was shooting for. So just make sure that when you are setting your rank goals, that you're being realistic, and that not only that, that you're having those little successes along the way. Yes, I know how to write. Okay, successes. I know that looks like it. Okay, that you're having those successes along the way. If you are doing this business and all you're doing is training after training after training after training after training and trying to perfect the way that you're going to jump in and do this business, you're never going to succeed. And then 2 years down the road, you're like, I have never gotten an enrollment. This business doesn't work. It's not for me. But the thing is that you never took action on those income producing activities. So if there are other people in the business that are succeeding, you can succeed too. You just need to be doing the things they're doing, and that is taking action. That is doing income producing activities. So make sure that you're setting those little goals that we talked about, the power of 3, the rank, the smaller rank goals, the volume goals, the booking of actual classes goals or events, whatever, however you want to teach people. Just find the thing that works for you and go with that. I had a gal hit silver off of one-to-ones. That was what she did. And she's kind of a casual sharer. And she just kind of does her thing in her own time frame and in her own way, and it's great. So I did everything online. I hit my ranks off of sharing online. And that isn't to say, oh my gosh, there must be a shortcut. There must be something amazing about doing it online. That's not it at all. It's just another way of sharing. It's exactly the same as classes. The inviting process, everything is the exact same. I just did it online. So don't discount your way of doing things and the way that you get results. If you get results from teaching classes, teach more classes. Now that we're actually on that, let me just say one more thing. I was going to be done. But let's not neglect one super key aspect of this business that a lot of people don't focus on. Let's see if I have room over here. And that is going to be referrals. People will say, I only have 20 people to talk to. Awesome. Those 20 people probably all have at least 5 people that they could refer to you. That's a lot of people. And if those 5 people that they all refer somebody, you've got like 500 contacts that you can be talking to, potentially teaching classes to, one-to-ones to. You need to not neglect the referrals. So people will say, okay, well, I've tapped out my warm market. Well, that's fine, but you haven't tapped out their warm markets. So just make sure that this isn't just about the people that you love and care about and know right now in your lives. There are over 11,000 people on our team. I have personally enrolled around, well, it's probably over 500 now. So 500 people in 5 years. And I could count probably on 2 hands the amount of people that I knew prior to doTERRA. 10 people. And let me just say, my mom didn't want to be part of it. My siblings didn't want to be part of it, except for my lovely Joni. She's amazing. And my sister, Tanya. They're the only 2 people in my whole family and all my circles of friends that wanted anything to do with this business when I got started. So you want to talk about your warm market being tapped out? Not only that, but my husband's aunts, which I thought they would be so amazing in this business, and I kept inviting it. Do you want to come to a class, and can I teach you about this? And they were like, no thanks, no thanks. And the next thing I turn around, they're signed up on somebody else's team. That tells you how much belief my people had in me. So when you say, oh, I don't have a warm market, or nobody wants to sign up, my friends aren't supporting me, my family's not supporting me, well, you know what? That's okay. Because when I started doing it online, some of my upline wasn't even supportive of what I was doing. Go do your thing. Don't worry about anybody else. Go look for those referrals, set your goals, and work at them. And I promise you, you will be successful if you're willing to refine your approach and you're willing to work on you and your business and your team and making sure that you're serving those around you. And you'll have success. There's no question about it. So hopefully all of that was helpful to you. If there's anything else that you guys would find to be helpful that I can do some Facebook Lives on, I would love to do that. It's been so fun to be with you guys doing this today. So you can answer in the comments or you can message me on Facebook or whatever. I would love to jump on. I promise if you have the question, somebody else does too. And I would love to be able to come and do this more often. So, okay, we'll see you guys later.